Hello, welcome to another episode of Your Opportunity Partner. I'm Associate Professor Art Gogatz. I'm your host for this series and this channel. And today we're going to talk about a very good subject, and we begin with a very good question. Question is, are you ready? Ready for what? To learn and to commit to an opportunity. Okay, I've taught for a long time. I've taught all over the world. And when I have a class, whether it's in a university or whether it's a training group for a company, I always know some of the participants, some of the students will be eager, ready. They're ready to learn. And some students are not. There's a very good phrase, comes from actually English teaching or language teaching. It says sometimes people listen and sometimes they read. Sometimes they don't really read, they just look at the words. So sometimes when you have a student in class, they're supposedly participating, they're listening, but they're not really listening. They're just hearing the words. Same thing with a text. You can read the text and you get it immediately. And sometimes you look at the words and you're thinking of something else. So what's this mean? People have to be ready to learn. I love when I teach, the best audience, the best group are the people who are volunteers. I always say when I teach creativity innovation, give me a group of volunteers. Why? We can make incredible progress if they really want to learn. Now, again, when you're teaching creativity, you're trying to change somebody's mindset. That you need concentration and commitment. It's not just for everybody. So a group of volunteers, boy, we can go really fast and we can learn a lot. But there are people who are not ready. They're not ready to learn. They're there because they have to. And when we really connect that to opportunity, I think too many people treat opportunity like it's a low-hanging, ripe fruit. They just want to pick it and eat it and enjoy it, which means they want it easy. Opportunity takes work, takes effort, takes time, takes commitment, which means it's rare that you just pick an opportunity and run with it and it's perfect and you just go. No matter what the opportunity is, you got to work with it. You got to change something. You got to do and work with it. It takes time and takes commitment. Lately, or not too long ago, actually last month, I taught a group in Hanoi because I was teaching in Hanoi at the university there, National Economics University. And I had a session with a group of entrepreneurs and CEOs of SMEs, which is small, medium businesses. And they asked me to do a one-day session in marketing for this group. I had 125 people, so it was quite a lot. It was a big group, nice people, wonderful. And I've taught these people before, not the same group, but this type of individuals before in Vietnam, and they've always been wonderful. This group was very good, but my main message to them, or one of my messages to them, was you have to think bigger because these people had small businesses. Most of the businesses were struggling in marketing. Marketing is not something that entrepreneurs or people who start businesses are really good at. It's what they're usually not good at, and it's what they got to get right. Because if you don't get enough customers, your business is going to fail. So most of these businesses were okay, but not doing very well. They could do a lot better. And because a lot of it is the problems with marketing. So I told them, well, most what people do when they start a business, because I do a lot of consulting all over the world, in marketing for these exact types of businesses, startups and SMEs. And what I found is most of these businesses, they concentrate on sales. They're trying to bring in revenue. They have a sales force. It's all sales, but they don't do any marketing. In fact, I tell most of them, you don't have a marketing department, even though they say they do, and you don't do any advertising. Well, sales are important, but so is advertising and so is marketing. And these people really are not doing that. They're only really concentrating on bringing in revenue, which is short-sighted. So that was one of my messages to this group. They listened. They were very nice, enthusiastic. But then they basically told me, because in lunch and in different sessions, talking to them in different ways that day, they basically said, okay, but we have to get into marketing and advertising, and we really don't know much about that. Can you just give us the one key, the one thing we need to do, the bandage that we can put on, and we can do it simply. We want the formula. Well, when I teach, even when I teach MBAs, a lot of my MBA students say, not in these words, but that's what they're saying. Give me something that I can do and it'll be simple and easy and I don't have to do a lot of work. They're looking for the easy way. So these entrepreneurs basically were saying, okay, but we really don't want to go through a lot of change. We don't want to hire new people. We don't want to get into new people. We just want to give us the one thing we can do that we can be successful, fast and cheap and easy. And that's the way people treat opportunity too. Now, in this same session with this same group, one of the things I told them was, well, one of the things you can do is you can approach universities worldwide and talk to some of the marketing professors and tell them you have a business and you would like them to use your business as an example. They call it problem-based learning, which means the university professors are usually very keen to get an actual business problem to give their students. Because most of what case studies are, you're looking at business history. So if you can get a company to tell you, okay, this is an actual problem that we have, can you help us with it? Well, the professors are usually very happy because that's really great for their students. So I said to this group of entrepreneurs and CEOs of SMEs, you can do this. It's a win-win situation. You can get free marketing advice from these students, and they can be MBA students, and especially from the professor. Won't cost you anything. It's a win-win situation. They'll be happy, you'll be happy. And I told them, I can give you contacts because I have contacts worldwide with professors in universities. These are people I know. People are really good. And I'll give you their contacts. Okay? Now, that session that I had in Hanoi with this group was about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. How many of the people, of the 125 people in that group that I talked to, followed up and said, Art, okay, good. That's a really good idea. I want to do this. Can you connect me with a professor? How many took me up on the offer, the opportunity? 0. None. Why? Not really completely sure. I mean, these are people that are not 20 years old and immature. A lot of these people were 30s, 40s, some senior people. All I can really deduce or get from it is it's too much trouble to go and deal with people we don't know. It's not something that I can do simply, easily, and it would be too much work, too much effort. Oh, but I gave them, Han basically gave them a good opportunity, told them I would help you to connect. They basically said, no. What's this mean? Means they're not ready for an opportunity. They're not ready for what it would take. And this is true of most of the people that we deal with. When you have people that are not ready for your advice, that are not ready for what you are teaching, that are not ready for a change, they won't. They'll find a way, even if they don't tell you, they say, sure, 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 and then do nothing. You've got to get people to commit to your opportunity. I have a friend of mine, he's a former student, excellent guy. He's from, I met him when I was teaching in Germany. He was in my MBA class there. And he's from Europe, and he's been all over the world. He works for a very big, big German company. And he's worked in different places. He doesn't teach, works in company. And they sent him to India a little over a year ago, a little more than that. And he was supposed to be there for 2 years. And he was managing their operation in Mumbai, in India. He brought the family. They gave him an apartment. They set it all up. They made the moving expenses, everything. He had kids, 2 kids. And he loved India, and he loved the experience. His family didn't like it at all. His family didn't like it at all, which means he had a big problem. He had to make a choice between, let's go back. And the company told him, well, if you come back, you're not going to work anymore with us. You wanted to go. You signed an agreement that you would go for 2 years. We paid all this expense in it. And if you bail out on us, well, we'll just terminate you. So he had to make a decision between his family and his career. Now, this happens a lot. Many years ago, year 2000, 2001, I was working in Hanoi. I was working in Hong Kong at the time, and one of my colleagues was working in Hanoi. And I said, well, I'd like to work in Hanoi. That sounds great to me. I'd never been to Vietnam at that point. And she said, well, I can connect you with the university that's running the program. It was a USAID program, and it was run out of Boise State University in the US. And so I applied, and they accepted me, and I went to Vietnam to work at the university, again, National Economics University, for 3 months. And I enjoyed the experience there a lot. And so I've gone back to Vietnam many, many times, and gone back to NEU many, many times. But toward the end of the 3 months when I was there, I was talking to the directress of the program, who was a professor at Boise State. And I asked her, or we were talking about, sort of like why they selected me. And I thought she was going to say, well, we selected you because you have a great background and a good international experience and, good profile. And she said, well, we took you because you had experience living in third world countries, because I had lived in Colombia for almost 10 years. So she said, we knew you would stay. That's why we took you. Well, she said, we have been tired of too many professors from the US going to Vietnam. This was 2000, 2001 at the time. And she said, we're tired of the professors who go for 2 weeks and then want to go back home. They can't take it. Well, it's an opportunity to go to another country and teach. I've taught in 24 different countries. That's 24 opportunities, but I've had to embrace each one and say, okay, this is something I want to do. Too many professors or people, not only professors, but people, they say, okay, And then when they get into it, they say, oh, no, 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 this is not for me. This is not what I want. Opportunity requires not just picking it off the vine like a fresh apple. It requires you to go with it. Opportunities are there all the time. We don't really. Last thing is there's a wonderful statement that I really like. It comes from Catherine the Great, former Empress of Russia. And she said, there's a great wind blowing that either gives you ideas or a headache. True, there's always a great wind blowing. An opportunity is a great wind, and that gives you ideas or a headache. And if you go with a headache, you weren't ready for the opportunity. Now, if you like this video and this series, please help by subscribing to the channel, liking it, and leaving a comment if you can, because it really helps us to get going and to progress. The next session we're going to do, which is on ideation and idea generation, which is a very interesting topic. Thank you for today, and see you next time.